G'day guys, how's it going? My name's Big Pup, and today I'll be doing some battles in the Summer Cup using Cradily. Recently, Cradily was given access to the move Rockslide, and I'm super excited to test it out and see the results. Please like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's hop into the battles and let's have some fun. Jumping straight into the first match for our Cradily into a Dubwill. We really don't mind this matchup at all. I'm assuming they have Wild Charge and Body Slam, of which we resist both, so I feel very comfortable to no-shield this first charge move. It's just the Body Slam, it does a nice amount of chunk damage, but nothing that threatens me too badly. Now we go straight for the Grass Knot. That does a nice amount of damage, manages to sneak behind two shields, and puts us in a position where if we shield here, we can throw one more charge move and secure either a shield or a KO. In comes the Rock Slide. Let's see what this does. It'll do a huge amount of damage if it does land. They shield it, unfortunately, but we can no shield here and then trust Noctowl to farm all the way down. In comes the Body Slam, we get off one more Bullet Seed. In comes Noctowl to finish the job and farm all the way down with Wing Attack. Let's see what comes in next. It's the Magcargo, so not the best matchup for Noctowl, seeing as it's a Rock type, but ever since Noctowl got access to Shadow Ball, it's become much better. They're incinerating away. I'm assuming this will be a Rock Tomb. Most Magcargos are running Rock Tomb. Yep, so we get the attack debuff, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to throw the Shadow Ball, and at the health range they are at, I think this would either, it would definitely get the KO. In comes the Shadow Ball, that grabs a shield. Now we dip into Dedenne and try and catch a Rock Tomb. I think this will be the Rock Tomb. Yep, just the Rock Tomb. Now we feel very comfortable to just get to this discharge. I think we do outpace, and this will be securing the KO onto that Magcargo. Down goes Magcargo. Let's see what they have in the back. It is a Politoed, so that's pretty ideal. Now we get to this discharge, and this will be dishing some heavy, super effective damage. Even through the debuff, still gets them all the way into the yellow. They're going to throw a Weather Ball, but it looks like from the research notification they have backed out, so good game to this trainer. Heading into the next match of the day with our Cradily into an Abomasnow. This isn't the best matchup in the world, but if we can land a Rock Slide, it'll be like a right hook from Takamura and Hajime no Ippo. We're going to throw up the first shield, because we are going to outpace them. In comes the Weather Ball. We shield that up. We're almost at 2 Rock Slides. Let's see if this one lands. It'll either grabbing a shield or doing huge damage. Manages to grab a shield. We're at the second Rock Slide. Let's see if this one lands. I'd love to see a Rock Slide land. Come on, Cradily, do the job. It lands, does massive amounts of damage to that Abomasnow, and then we switch into Noctowl to farm down. In comes the Weather Ball. Noctowl can take that better than what Cradily can, and now we have a little bit of energy to go into the next matchup. What's going to come in? It's a Lanturn. Not the best matchup in the world. Obviously, it's probably running Lightning Bolt, right, which will do massive amounts of damage. So we're going to go straight for the Shadow Ball and hopefully do some very important damage. We need to get as much damage off onto this Lanturn as possible because our back Pokemon do not have the best matchup against it. In comes Surf. We're going to throw up the shield so we can get to the second Shadow Ball. I'm hoping this grabs a shield. It would be good to start grabbing some shields. We managed to grab a shield. Now we're at a 0-0 shield advantage. You can barely call that an advantage. It's very neutral. Anyway, carrying on. We're going to throw the discharge. It's a Talonflame, so this is very ideal. In comes the first discharge. We're already a second one. Turning this Talonflame into a roast chicken. Striking out the sky. Down goes Talonflame. What's going to come in next? It's the Lanturn. We're almost at another discharge. Unfortunately, not able to quite get there, but we will hang on. Takes that Surf like an absolute champion. Gets to another discharge. This won't be KOing, but it will be getting it extremely low. But we do have 2 Pokemon in the back, so this game's in the bag. Good game. Keeping things moving here with our Cradily into a Galvantula. So this isn't the best matchup in the world. We do resist the discharge and the Volt Switch, but unfortunately the lunge will do massive amounts of damage. In comes the lunge that pretty much would have one-shot KO'd, so we're going to go straight for the Rock Slide and try and grab some shields. In comes the first Rock Slide, grabs a shield. In comes the second Rock Slide that should be grabbing the second shield unless they want their Spider to go down. They want their Spider to go down, and I'm going to let him. In comes Crustle, so they're running a nice spicy double bug team. We're going to go straight for the Grass Knot. I think this does neutral damage, I'm not quite sure, but they are Rock type. Yeah, it does a nice amount of neutral damage. We feel pretty comfortable to let the Cradily shield up here. In comes the Excisor, and we're hoping to get to another Rock Slide. Can we get there? We managed to get there. This will be doing a nice amount of damage to the Crustle, hopefully grabbing the KO. It grabs the second shield though, which is fine by me. Now we feel very comfortable to come with Dedenne. We resist the bug moves because of our fairy typing, and we will be taking neutral from the Rock Slide, or Rock Blast in this case, but we don't really mind. We get to the discharge, this will be finally KOing, and then we'll have to wait to see what's in the back. Down goes Crustle. It is a Venusaur, so we feel very comfortable here. We switch into Noctowl. We can comfortably take the Frenzy Plant, comfortably take the Sludge Bomb, and get to the Sky Attack. In comes the Sludge Bomb, just does just about half. We're at the Sky Attack. Now we're swooping down, tearing that Venusaur to shreds with our talons. In comes Noctowl. Good game to this trainer. Moving into the next match with our Shadow Cradily into a Unova Stunfisk. We really don't mind this matchup. The Mud Bomb is only neutral because of our grass typing, and we can get to these grass knots very quickly. In comes the first Mud Bomb, I assume. Just the Mud Bomb. Does a pretty manageable amount of defense, nothing I'm stressing about. We're at 1.5 grass knots, and we're going to start sending out these grass knots. Hopefully one lands. That grabs a shield, which is pretty good for us. One more Bullet Seed. We're expecting another Mud Bomb here. We are going to shield up here just to preserve the Cradily. This is a Cradily video. I want to showcase it. We get to the second grass knot. Hopefully this will be landing. Gets 2 shields though, so now we're at a shield advantage. Quite good. And we're almost at a Rock Slide. I believe we should be at a Rock Slide after this move because the damage and energy should have registered. Not quite though. In comes a Escavalier, and now we feel very comfortable to come in with Noctowl and start dishing out some damage. We resist the Drill Run, and I'm assuming Mega Horn. So we're in a very good position here. We're taking neutral from the counter because of our normal typing, but I'm really unbothered. In comes the Sky Attack that does a good amount of damage. We're not quite able to farm down, but we should not get KO'd by this charge move, and we should have a move loaded for the next Pokemon. In comes the Drill Run. We about have a move loaded. It's the Stunfisk, so we're going to go straight for the Shadow Ball, hopefully getting the KO. Shields are down. Noctowl goes to town. We're farming away. This will be the Discharge, so that's a Noctowl down, but we feel very comfortable with our Pokemon in the back. We actually get to another charge attack, which is really brilliant for us. That'll be KOing the Stunfisk. What's in the back? It's another Lanturn, but we do have a Grass Knot loaded. This will be dishing out massive super effective damage, plus the Shadow. Let's go! Lands, does huge amounts of damage, and then we get to the trusty old Rock Slide, and this should be KOing the Lanturn. Good game to this trainer. Moving on into the next match with our Shadow Cradily into a Lanturn. This is a pretty good matchup for us, so they're going to switch into a Rapidash. We're going to farm up a little bit more. We're going to throw a Rock Slide. The Rock Slide and Dip, I believe. So in comes the first Rock Slide. That grabs a shield. Now we dip into Noctowl, hoping to grab a Drill Run catch. Let's see what we got. It is the Drill Run, so we managed to catch that damage onto Noctowl, the Flying type. And now we are just about at a Shadow Ball. What's going to come in next? I'm assuming it's the Flame Charge. No, it's must be a Drill Run. I wonder if this trainer, because we are, just going up the ranks, beginning of the season, they mustn't have Flame Charge, because I assume they'd go for Flame Charge. But hey, good for us. We're able to hang on through all these charge moves. In comes a Drill Run. We hang on there. We're just about a Shadow Ball. We get to the Shadow Ball. This will be dealing some pretty important neutral damage onto Lanturn and putting us in a better position than before. In comes the Shadow Ball. Gets them to just about half health. We're going to come in with Cradily. We have 2 shields. They have 1. They have their own Cradily. Not a Shadow one, but a Cradily at that. We're going to throw the Grass Knot, hopefully dish out some good damage. The Grass Knot lands, get them just below half. We sneak through another Bullet Seed when they throw their charge move. We're going to throw up the shield here, expecting a Grass Knot back. It's the Grass Knot. We get to a, we're going to bait here with a Rock Slide, hoping they think it's a Grass Knot. Let's see the result. They thought it was going to be a Grass Knot, which is really good for us. We are going to expend that second shield. Cradily is the star of the show this video. Come on, get to the Rock Slide. This should be securing the KO. It's dishing massive damage. In comes the Rock Slide, down goes Cradily. There's the Lanturn. I wish I switched into Dedenne here to catch this Thunderbolt. That would have been really good, but I'm surprised I didn't go for Surf. I think that would have done... Does Surf do neutral against Cradily because of the Rock typing and Grass typing? I think so. There's the Surf, does neutral. Can we finish off this game? We just need to get to the player off, and that should be getting the last one-hit KO. Let's go Surf. In comes Surf, does a nice amount of damage. Now we get to the player off. This will be the ever so important uppercut punch to finish the match. Good game to this trainer. Moving into the next match, we have our Shadow Cradily into an Obstagoon. This isn't the best matchup for us. Actually, I'd say quite a bad one. That counter's doing a massive amount of damage, and they could have Brick Break. It's the Cross Chop, so I didn't mean to say Brick Break. I meant to say Cross Chop. We get into the first Rock Slide. Hopefully this does a nice amount of neutral damage. It does actually a surprising amount of damage. I'm quite happy with that. I'm not happy we're not able to reach another Rock Slide, but that's unfortunate, but we do have the Dedenne. We should resist all the charge moves plus the fast moves, so we're in a pretty good position here. They're switching to Trevenant, and we have the perfect answer to Trevenant in Noctowl. Noctowl's a bit of a nightmare for Trevenant. All they can throw is the Seed Bombs, not very effective. They don't really want to throw the Shadow Balls, it's less energy efficient. I think I'm just going to farm all the way down. I get a bit greedy here, just farming all the way down. Noctowl's just eaten until it feels sick. Wing attack, wing attack, wing attack. Can we farm all the way down? Not quite. We're not going to shield here. We know we can survive. In comes the Seed Bomb. We survive. Back comes in the Goon. And they beat us to CMP, I believe. In comes the Night Slash. They beat us again. So that means I mustn't have tapped on my charge move before because it would have let us go next. We are going to expend both shields and just start sending out these Sky attacks. In comes Sky attack number 1, takes out the Obstagoon. In comes I didn't see what that was. It was a flying water type, so let's see what it was. In comes the Shadow Ball. It's a Pelipper. We have the absolute nightmare Pokemon for Pelipper as well. Into Dene. In comes the first discharge. I would probably take out about 5 Pelippers. In comes the second discharge. This should be taking out the Pelipper. No deliveries for Pelipper today. Good game. Heading into the next match with our Shadow Cradily into a Minun, I believe. Yep, it's the Minun. So we're in a pretty good position here. We resist all the charge and fast moves. They switch into a shiny Rapidash, one of the nicest shinies of all time, I gotta say. I love the blue. I wish it kept the same blue as Ponyta. That blue is just a bit like deeper and more intense, whereas like it's more of like a very light blue with Rapidash, and I just think that Ponyta looks so slick. Anyway, we get into the Sky attack. They're incinerating away. In comes the Sky attack that gets them to the red. Can we farm all the way down? Not quite able to farm down, but we might throw up a shield here. We're not going to throw up a shield here. We're going to come with Cradily. 2 more Bullet Seeds. Down goes the Rapidash. What's going to come in next? It's the Minun. We're going to go straight for the Grass Knot. This will be doing a nice amount of damage. Yep, does a nice amount of damage. Now we feel in a very comfortable position to just get to the Rockslide. We are going to throw up a shield here, although I don't think I needed to. The discharge would have been not very effective. I think, are we going to go for a full farm down? No, not quite the full farm down. But we realize there's no need to shield here, and down they go. We have boatloads of energy. What's going to come in next? It's a Politoed. We have plenty of Grass Knots ready to take out that thing. In comes the first Grass Knot. Doesn't get the KO, but in comes the second Grass Knot. It's a Shadow, by the way, so this will be doing heaps of damage. Down goes Politoed. Good game. Skipping into the next match with our Shadow Cradily into a Lanturn. I really like this matchup. The Grass Knots really threaten and do like a huge amount of damage, so we feel very comfortable. They're going to retreat into their own Cradily, so we're going to send in Noctowl. We are a bit afraid of the Stone Edge or the Rockslide. What's it going to be? It's the Rockslide. That does a huge amount of damage to Noctowl, so we're going to go straight for the Shadow Ball and hopefully dish out some nice neutral damage. In comes the Shadow Ball. It grabs a shield, so I'm quite happy with that as well. In comes the second Rockslide, I'm assuming, so we're going to have to shield up here. I'm hoping to get to a Sky attack, so let's see, we do get to the Sky attack. This should be doing a nice amount of damage, although they are a rock type as well. Still does a nice amount of damage. Now we're at a 1-0 shield advantage. We do have the choice to shield here and try and go for another Sky attack. I do take that option. Can we reach there? We're able to reach there. That's really good. In comes the second Sky attack. This should be KOing the Cradily. Doesn't quite KO the Cradily, but hey, it's all good. Now we have the option of coming in with either of our back Pokemon and farming down. In comes our own Cradily. It takes 3 Bullet Seeds. We farm down. What's going to come in next? It's the Lanturn. We're going to go straight for this Grass Knot. Hopefully do a nice amount of damage. In comes the Grass Knot. Almost one-shot KOs. We retreat into Detonate, and they retreat into a Noctowl. Good game. Keeping things moving here with our Shadow Cradily into a Galvantula. So, as we saw earlier, this isn't a worst matchup in the world. This one, unfortunately, is running Fury Cutter. And not Volt Switch. Volt Switch would have been resisted, but Fury Cutter is super effective. One lunge almost completely obliterates us into the graveyard. We are able to get off to a Rockslide. That grabs a shield. That probably would have KO'd the Galvantula. Very squishy Pokemon, so we send in the Dene. We do resist the Discharge and the lunge, so this is a pretty good position to be in. In comes the Energy Ball, though. I was not expecting the Energy Ball. In comes Swampert. We're going to go straight for the Play Rough. I think this is the better option than Discharge. Does a pretty good amount of damage. We're farming. Can we get to a Discharge? We do manage to get off the Discharge. I'm hoping to grab a shield here. Doesn't grab a shield, but gets the Swampert extremely low, and we manage to farm down. In comes the Walrein. We're going to farm up. We get to the first Sky attack. I think I'm just going to go straight Sky attack in this matchup. Manages to do a decent amount of damage. They're just about half health. We're farming up. We almost get to a second Sky attack. We're going to start using these shields because obviously the Icicle Spheres will do huge amounts of damage. Now we just need to farm up. We're going to throw another Sky attack. This will be doing a nice amount of damage. Does a nice amount of damage onto the Galvantula. We managed to farm down, so we found our win con. We need to get to 2 Sky attacks to win. I don't know if it's possible. We're going to shield up here. In comes the Icicle Sphere. Now we just need to beat them and get 2 Sky attacks off. We're at 2 Sky attacks, but unfortunately they get the Icicle Sphere off. That'll be knocking out the Noctowl, and that'll be a good game. Hopping into the last match of the day, we have our Shadow Cradily into a Shadow Swampert. So this is a great matchup for us. Look at the Bullet Seed damage. My goodness, Bullet Seed is not meant to be that powerful, but it is just shredding and obliterating that Shadow Swampert. I think we're going to go for the full farm down. We're a bit greedy today, you know, we're just overeating. We're a bit You know, the 7 deadly sins were a bit gluttonous today, but we do manage to farm all the way down, but we are at a shield disadvantage and health disadvantage. In comes a Kanto Shadow Ninetales. We're going to throw the Rockslide, that would have done huge damage. Now we get to a second Rockslide. That's the advantage of Rockslide over Stone Edge, it's so spammy, and if you're running a Shadow, it hits pretty much just as hard, so I'd say give Shadow Cradily a run. It's super duper fun as well. It can hit such a wide variety of Pokemon, from water types, to fire types, to flyers, to you name it, Cradily has got it. In comes a shiny, best-buddied Lapras. In comes the Surf, does a huge amount of damage to Dedenne. We're getting to the discharge. This should be getting them low. Lapras is very tanky, so it won't KO, unfortunately, but we will try and make it to the second discharge. Not able to make it to the second discharge, but we do have another shield. We're going to save it for Cradily, or Noctowl, I should say. We managed to get to the Sky Attack. This should be securing the KO, versing the Lapras. Down goes Lapras. Back comes in Ninetales. We're going to go through the Shadow Ball here. In retrospect, I realized I should have just gone straight Sky Attack. Shadow Ball doesn't do enough damage to get to the KO, and now we're not going to be able to get to the next Sky Attack because they Ember all the way down. Good game. Thank you all so much for watching. I had an absolute blast running Shadow Cradily in the Summer Cup. Rockslide is a definite upgrade for the Summer Cup and the Great League, but if you look on Ultra League, it still recommends running Stone Edge. Please like and subscribe, and until next time, have a good one.